Good. I'm glad you enjoyed. So yeah, we're carrying on with our monthly game dev challenge, which is looking into collision and traces. Collision and traces. We've kind of had a look at the basics. There's a couple of things that I mean to look at today. And then I think we'll just try and do a tiny little project to test things out a bit more. But other than that, I think we kind of, unless we came to like a good use case of when to use them. Like last week we did check in, like if you can do a trace through different materials. So we did it so it goes through glass and then hits a wall and it stopped at that wall. Or you could do a multi-line by object and it would go through all of them and report back everything that it's gone through. So yeah, we've been writing notes on it too. I've got my document here that I've been writing. And yeah, so in here we've got notes on it. This is in my Unreal document of continual growth. We did some code examples last week, and then what we're looking at this time then is we want to try out the other shapes. So you can do stuff with you can do like a box trace. You can also do other shapes, but I don't know really why you'd do other shapes especially. But I think like one use of these is maybe to see like where if if I have a character that's this size, do a trace in this line from here to there in one direction, could they get through that gap? Or if I have an object that is this size and I want to spawn it, do a trace to make sure nothing's overlapping it. If it isn't, then spawn it. I mean, there's a bit of that done already in the game. I think you can set rules of like it should shift it if it collides with something when it spawns. So I think it probably does some of that already, but still, we'll have a look how they're done regardless. And then we can try and maybe make a little a robot rat that will go around and we'll set up some basically some distance checkers on it if you want. So it'll be like whiskers, not like proper whiskers, but like they call them whiskers, where you have like sensors going out in the shape of whiskers to kind of detect the world around it and to change its orientation by that. Don't you worry about it, Jeff. You're safe. You're safe. I don't know what fuse is, by the way, your comments earlier. But it's a shame they're dropping something that was useful for you. Happy Sunday. I mean, I got up relatively early today, and I still feel like, well, I'm already on midday. It stresses me how quick my downtime goes. But regardless, let's start looking at these object single. Hang on, wait there. Sweep single. Yeah. So what does this? Isn't shape based. We want to do a shape based. Other shapes as well. Okay, so I did a little look up earlier about how you would go ahead and set up one of these. So yeah, it is that function, sweep single by channel, but you give it a shape in here. So let's have a look how these are done then, shall we? So what's our current existing code? We've got it when we click, I think. So if we comment this out, I'm going to have a look at how to do it the other way then. Oh, maybe this doesn't need to. I think I'll have it to there. I don't know what this was. This is if world's none. Okay, yeah, great. And we may not want these things. We'll have to see. Let's just try and do it up high so we can see what we've actually got. So like before, we're going to have to make an F hit result. So this is going to be our shape trace result. I'm going to do one of those. You can create one within a static function. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to do. I don't remember how this thing said that you did one. Up here, it's F collision shape static function called like make box, like that. That's the static thing, is it? You mean Paper Fox? Is it F shape? No, F collision shape. Is this? It does. Okay, we have a make box and make sphere capsule as well. So this just makes a collision shape, and then you give it the half extent, which is I guess kind of like a radius of a box. Ah, Brill Paper Fox. Yeah, I've never really had to use them at work or in personal projects too much, actually. Other than like in a 2D game, we're using them to check, like, am I on the floor? So I know whether or not I can jump. That's kind of the extent I've really done with them. So we've been just having a little hour or two each Sunday to try and just get a little bit more knowledge on them. So, okay, let's try this then. Let's make a box. And we need to give it a half. Box half extent. Yeah, what is it? Isn't it a vector? Does that make sense then? Let's go back to where we were then. And then we'll probably make a float here. Ah!
In the kingdom of Subbingburg.
In the kingdom of Subbingburg. Hello there, Brainoid. 39 months. That's a long time, eh? Thank you very much for your support. And not just any subscription. That's a tier 3 subscription as well. The cats are treating us well. It's not Cat and Bug Dev stream today. Sundays is our other learning stream. So we're just having a look how we can do shape collisions and using the sweep. And then maybe to make a little fake robot that will walk around and avoid things using some traces. I think that's the objective for today. Is it extents? They call it. Extent. So if we want to make it, let's just do a 50 by 50. We can go ahead and do that. I don't think, yeah, you have to do it times here. I should go to bed. Have you not gone to bed yet? Hold on, are you West Coast, right? That's 8 hours, so it's what, 4 a.m.-ish? It's 1/4 midday here. How are you doing today, Brainoid? 5 a.m. Well, why are you still up, silly man? Okay, so we're making this shape, and we're then going to pass that in. So we have our world already, so we don't have to do get world, and then we can do sweep. Okay, we got a lot. What's test? And return if a blocking hit is found. Okay, so is that just a true or false? Maybe it's a quicker one. I don't know. No, it seems. Did you pass in an at? Yeah, I don't think this one has hit results. The tests. Interesting. I have Sissy spending time with her often, but I did some work in Cat Book, as you know. It's a good Sunday. You did. Brainoid, I should show some of the work. That beautiful Brainoid has done. Hold on. Where are you, beautiful? This sort of thing. So ignore the colours for now. And the map as well. We'd get a map that fits in with the art style more. But the idea is that we face these. This is a map of where you've been. Or where you started. These you've been to. This is where you are now. And these are your options. And you can choose to go to different places. And there's different types of like easy enemies, elite enemies, and bosses or something along those lines that we could use. Different rattos. Yes. So just as an idea for now, there'd probably be things like different places to visit on the map, not just rats to fight. But it's a start. And we'll try and redo the structure so that not every single node connects to every single node. But it makes it a bit more complex because you could do... Yeah, I don't want to think about it now, if I'm honest. But this is cool. Good work, Brainoid. Right, we are going to go back to where we were. So, right, so sweep. So let's do a single by channel, I guess. Single by channel is probably just going to hit the first thing goes across. We have the object type, and yeah, they're going to work the same thing. I don't know what profile would be. Oh, you can create a profile, which maybe that is a way of specifying a bunch of different channels to hit. Could be. All right, so for now, let's just do a single by channel, I guess. And then we need to pass in our shape trace result as our out. And then we need our start and end positions. I think we've got start and end positions already. What were we using here? Spawn location and end location, yeah. So can you just do a normal box trace without sweep as well? I'd imagine you can, just to say, is anything at that place? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. I noticed Visual Assist are doing a what you call it, a 30-day trial in December. You could get, because I noticed for the Epic Jam, you know, the Mega Jam that they do, the Game Jam. I was looking through the details of that the other day, and I noticed that Visual Assist are doing a 30-day trial thing that you can use doing that. I think it's always they've always got a 30-day trial though, if I'm honest. I'm having some issues with the latest version of Visual Studio, and it doesn't work like it used to. But I don't pay for updates anymore. But yeah, it's definitely a game changer for sure. Okay, we got end. Do we need to pass in a Quaternion? Oh yeah, you do. Because it's a shape as well. It's actually more important that we do that. So what did they end up passing in? Shape rotation, visible, and shape. So they've done visible. We don't have a Quaternion for this. Would we just get rotation of the box? Does it come at oh, we haven't even assigned this. This is a mistake. So what does this return us, sorry? This gives us a collision shape. Let's go ahead and make a collision shape. Trace box, let's just call it, is equal to that. Could we do an fquat shape rot equals trace box dot get rotation? Have anything like that? No? Yes, I think what Brainerd said is a more accurate view. It's not great still. It's still not like just coding in plain C# and any editor. But it makes it less garbage for sure. It's unpleasant for sure, the native Unreal development without anything. So I don't know what my rotation is here. How do I make a rotation? I think I know there's a make rot thing I've seen before, but surely this box has a rotation though. This shape, or does it not exist in the world? No, I guess it doesn't. Oh, it's little simple things like this where I don't even I'm so inexperienced with it. It stresses me. So what is that? Just a is fquat identity like a default one? I've seen it used before. I still don't understand Quaternions. I should probably have a look at them sometime, eh? But what? So you might get the facing direction of the character, because this means that it's going to be it's not going to take into account the facing direction, right? I guess we'll have a look. We'll have a look for now, but otherwise we might need to get the rotation of the player controller and apply it to it, maybe. Thank you for interaction in chat. It helps me not get too stressed. Collision shape is going to be our trace box. And the rest of them default. And then we want to check if the hit result. Yeah, actually we ended up we're doing a single line one, right? But we can just go through the hit results. But I think because we're doing a single, we're not going to have them. It would just be a case of, it doesn't even need to be. We can just check if it's got an actor, right? Yeah, it'd be this sort of thing I want to do, I think. So it's not called hit result this time, we call it this. Thank you for the follow, Rube Nodi. I don't even know if we need to know if it's a blocking hit, do we? I know we do. We probably do here. No, I to be honest, stuff it. This will do fine. I don't care whether it blocks or not. We're just going to go ahead and get the actor from it and see if it has it hit an actor. That's enough for us here. And I will implement it to that little class that we made the other day, which is a laser impact component. But now it's no longer, it's a square laser. Well, Twitch is pretty big, but maybe game dev on Twitch isn't so big. Hello there, NK. So I'm not particularly making anything. These are my learning streams on a Sunday. So we've been learning about traces and how they respond with different different objects with different collision profiles in Unreal. I think like our current implementation, it might be really loud. Let me play with the sound quickly before I do anything. Let's open the mixer. Let's take Unreal. Epic Games. Where's Unreal? Yeah, okay, it's really low already. So we're doing traces going through, and you can see the green text. It says glass smash, wall boom, and wall boom 2, because it's getting all objects along this trace. If I go back, my trace won't go that far. I get to a point where it only does, yeah, 2 of them there. So it's only doing the first 2 now, because, hang on, let me just click there, because this trace only goes up so far, and it'll stop by there. We've just been playing around with this sort of stuff, and what we're trying to have a look at today is looking at box or shape traces and just consolidating some of the knowledge we know already. Well, the angle of it coming from the gun isn't perfect. It's not going from the crosshair, it's coming from like the nozzle of the gun to where the crosshair is, so that's why it looks like you've got a bit of a funky angle. It's okay though. I don't really mind. Will I use it? I'm not using it to do anything at the moment. So, but yeah, it's more about learning the underlying side of things. I don't have a particular end use of it at the moment. Anyway. No problem, no problem. So let's go back to where we were then. So we want to go ahead and get the actor that is interacted with, and then we'll check whether it's done that. Yeah, great. I think what we also want to do is we want to... Should we draw a box at that? We could use the debug helpers. I think we've already got debug helpers in, haven't we? Yeah, okay, good. What's... Okay, we got a box, center, extent. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that we want. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. Let's go ahead and do a box here, shall we? So draw debug box. And this is where we want to just go world. The center is going to be our hit actor dot actually, see, this is the impact point though, right? We'd need to, I don't know, we actually probably going to be looking at the shape trace results here, aren't we? It depends, because if we're doing a box at where it hit, it's hard. I don't really know if this is going to be representative. Do you know what I mean? Where the moving shape would end up against the impacting object if there is a hit. Okay, that might be it actually. No problem, brain. See you in a bit. So it'd be that location, and then we made a box half extent earlier for the size. The rotation is going to be the shape rot, and then the color. So F color, isn't it? Let's just make it green for now, and leave it there. Although there's a thickness, but we'll leave it as it is and see what happens. So we could try and do one at the start and at the end as well, but I think for now we'll start here and see how it goes. So let's try and do a hot reload on that. You can use trace start and trace end and then location for the hit. Were you saying if I wanted to do a start and an end point as well? Paper Fox. Does not take 5 arguments. I mean, is the... Oh, hang on. Oh, I didn't put the channel in. My mistake. Channel to trace, I think I called it earlier. My bad. Yeah. Here we go. Let's try that again. Yeah, okay. We'll do the start and the end as well. That's fair. We can do that. We can do that regardless of where we do it, right? Of whether we've hit. So let's go ahead and do this. So we'll maybe we can do green and then red is where it finishes. Is there an orange? Why doesn't it give me a list of colors? No. Whatever. Let's just do cyan then, because I know that's a color that everyone complain about. So instead of doing location, we'll just do start, trace start, I think it was. And we'll do trace end here. Okay. You think orange does exist? All right. All right, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. It's what I fancied. So let's go ahead and give this a go and see if we get a compile this time. What's anyone else doing on this Sunday anyway? Feel free to share in chat. Have anything interesting or boring going on? Or debug box. Well, none of the 2 overloads could convert all the argument types. Okay, let's have a look at what I've done wrong here. Is there another one that we're meant to put in? So a world. Is it because it's not const? So... Oh, hold on. No, location is a vector. Reference to the extent. Reference to the rotation. Color. Yes, I don't know what the problem is. So what we'll do, we'll close this down and we'll get some more meaningful logs. I don't like having to bounce between both. So let's Control B. Okay, so this one doesn't like it. Normally says it could be world vector color. So even though they're defaulted, have I got to go ahead and put the values in? I don't think this is right, because they've all got default values. Thickness, we're going to make it thicker. I just want to see if that one error message goes now on 206. I don't think it will though. I think it's yeah, I think it's the type that we're using. So I'm guessing that like maybe is it because it normally says it can't convert this to this. Const pointer to the world. Should we just do get world instead? Don't know if that returns a const just because I haven't stored it. Oh no, I have stored it as that. Yeah, I think you have to, don't you? Is there something else going on that I'm unaware of, maybe? Hey there, Merlin. Nice to see you. Net quantize. Huh. Yeah, I don't really know why this isn't working. Let me just have a look at some examples online. It might help me notice what I've done wrong. Draw debug box Q4 TPP. Not gonna give me any bloody examples, are you? Oh, does it take it as a vector, the rotation, rather than a quaternion? Perhaps. Oh no, it doesn't even take a... No, it does take a quad. What have I done wrong? Maybe I just need to read the code and notice that I've missed something. Let's take the signature. Oh, there's a few of them, right? So let's just go to the header. There's only two types here, right? Borrow these. And let's go back to here. Let's have a look how they differ. So we have our world pointer. Our location is a vector, right? Ah, is it because of this? I don't know what effect a net quantize. Is that like a net friendly one? Do they cast? Can I just do effector hit location equals shape trace result dot location, maybe? Just in case. I agree with you, it should be. No. Hold on. Float. Ah, I flipping know why. It's because I don't save the vector. This is just a flipping float. I then make a vector out of it. Alright, sorry people, that was a waste of time. I should have read the message because it said float. If I just skipped to assume that it was something stupid. If you look here, vector, float, quad, vector, quad, vector, vector, quad, vector, vector. F color here, yeah. That was silly of me. Alright, that's fine. Let's just compile that now. Off we go. Okay. Now, still doing a line. Oh, the line is meant to be there. However, I'm not seeing my my debug. Not seeing these. Make sure it's being hit. Yeah. Okay, so it should be drawing those. But it's not. Right, well, that's the first thing. Hello, Prinhan Daichi Littlewood. Okay, so first off, we have got this trace, this initial trace. We probably don't need to do any more. It was the blue one, this one. I don't know whether we need to give them a time. I don't know how long they last for. If you don't, it might just be like a frame and then it's disappearing, to be honest with you. So let's just do false and then let's do 5 seconds like I did on the others. Could just be something as simple as that that's going wrong at the moment. There we go. Okay. So we're doing, no matter which way we face, the box will be perfectly aligned with the world. Because we don't set a rotation. There you go. Okay, so what it's doing is actually doing a trace all the way along until it collides with it. So what we see here is that's where the first blocking hit is, and you can see it happens right on that edge, which is good to see, So you can see the same sort of thing there as it tries passing from here to there. I mean, the visualization is nice actually, isn't it? Okay, so why would we want to do this is the question, and I guess it's if you're doing a gun, you probably wouldn't want to use something like this unless it's your way of doing a fat a bullet that isn't like pinpoint accurate. Say it was a rocket launcher and you wanted like an instant rocket launcher, which isn't really something you'd have, but you know what I mean, where you want to have a bit more of a generous like hit kind of size to it. But other than that, it might be, as we said at the start of the stream, a way to find whether or not something can I fit through here. So I can fit through there, which is good to see. So you can make this box the size of the character, and essentially if I don't have a hit result, then I'm good to pass through. We're just looking at our traces today, and we're looking at line shape traces instead. It essentially just puts a shape at one point, and then it will move it forward all the way until it gets to the end point. So I'm curious, is the end point? It must be like at the is it at the middle of it? That's what I'm wondering a little bit. No, not portals. just no magic going on here. Just a box shooting simulator at the moment. That's it. Little words. How dare. How dare. So the reason it's not like hitting that is because it's not the right channel for me. Okay, that's cool. That's we've shot enough now. So you can change it a little bit. Let's add this to the notes first before we move on, right? No, it needs to have collision. Traces, use physX. I have heard this recently, and use to check for against anything with collision. That's how it needs to have collision for it to pick up things. It's the center for start and end. So the center of the okay, so it will actually go further than your end point based on the size of the shape, right? It's the most sensible way to do it, I think. I kind of like if it would, the start would be like it wouldn't, because you have a risk of it overlapping closer to the character or closer to the start point and further than the end point that way. You know what I mean? But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so shape. Have I got CPP examples? Yeah, so we'll do this under here. So for like for tracing with a shape, we needed to do a couple extra things. So we can probably condense some of this code down here. Let me chuck this in my slightly smaller font. I mean, we probably don't need that as much here. Let's like, we don't want to bloat an example. Get rid of that. Okay, that's fine. Then we need that. We can do our quat as well. That's fine to have there. And then we basically just do this. The rest of it we can work out. But I think we'll do a debug. I'll put the debug in as well because I think it's going to be useful. So we'll just borrow this one here. Maybe all of them would be actually good, wouldn't they? I think we'll condense this one down a little bit though. I know, like, getting code in a document like this is a bad idea, but still. You can offset it, yeah. Yeah, you definitely can. You can subtract or add the extent, right? I think that's probably what I would do in that situation, because if you do, typically when you have a start and end point, that means where you want it to start and end, right? You wouldn't want traces before it or after the end. Let's just get this in for that. Get rid of that. And then let's get the end one in quickly. There we go. So I like having references like this because it just, for me personally, it really helps when I come back to do this in like 3 months. I'll be like, oh, how did I do it again? And instead of looking through the crap, Unreal doesn't have great help online typically. I'd rather have my own little examples to draw upon. And this project might not be on my hard disk by then, so. That's why I'm trying to make this one document as a kind of explanation / snippet factory thing. Okay, sweet. So we got that. Let's have a look then at how we would use the multi. The multi would probably be the exact same thing, right? If we do sweep multi by object type, this time that should go through all of them. And it doesn't stop this one if I remember correctly. Let's see the arguments of it, make sure they kind of match. We have out hits this time, so it's a T array of them. So we'd need to make an array of them. T array of f hit results. Trace box hit. That we pass that in instead. The rest of it, we have the start, we have the end, the rotation. We need to do the collision params like we did last time as well. Let's have a look at one of our options. Hey there, Wing. How is Janitor Dan today? We're not cleaning up. We're doing a learning stream today on non-cat and bird content. Yeah, like it's public. Like you're welcome to. I don't keep this stuff private. I have a lot of docs I've made over the year. Over the years. You can see my HonestDan Google Docs is full of. Did I do shaders and materials in a different one? I should transfer that across. I've been trying to transfer stuff into it. Hold on. A lot of these are more me spamming rather than actually help. But yeah, exposing C++ to blueprints. I've got how I learned Unreal Engine. A cheat sheet that I've now transferred across into this. I guess a lot of them are the old one. Networking research. Crikey, I forgot about that. Input manager research. I was doing a lot more of it before I started working. You can see I had an interview for a job, and then since then I've been a lot busier. But a beginner's guide to making stuff with Unity and TwitchLib. I did web dev stuff, learning Node.js, Laravel Affinity Designer, Vue.js, learning that. Yeah, I think it's only one of the guides that is like properly public, which is that TwitchLib one, the one with Twitch integration one. But the others are more. I just chuck them on my Discord, so I can show you on my Discord here. There is a channel in here, the Google Docs, where I've kind of got a list of the kind of stuff in here that I've made in the past. I haven't really added to it for a while, but still, it's a reference to them to make it a bit easier to digest. Anyway, let's get back. So we're doing a multi one. So with the multi, in the same way, let's have a look how we did the multi one here. We also had to make these. Query params. This isn't multi, is it? It's a multi. Didn't have to pass it in. Query params we did on this one. Oh, it's if you do it by object, isn't it? Yeah. We just made this and then we added our channel to trace in there. That's pretty much it. It's quite straightforward other than that. So we'll go down to here. Let's just call it a shape trace query params to differentiate it a little bit. And then we can add that in. Let's between rotation. Then we have the query params instead of channel to trace. Then we have a collision shape. Oh, well, hang on. No. It's an object query params. Oh, yeah. That's the one we want. I think. Yeah, collision object query params. There you go. So at this time, instead of going through the results, we won't get this. We'd have to do a for each instead. I'm starting to feel that I really should have just do what I did last time, which was I don't know what, like my editor does some weird stuff these days. Like that should have just snapped to be in the right position. I need to put some time aside to investigate it and see what's going on with it. Okay, so what I wanted to do was to take this, whack this down here, and we can whack this down here as well, I guess, with it. Oh, no, not that one. Stuff that we're using just for this one. Yeah, trace result like that. Okay, so this is for our, this is the one that we're going to get rid of. I guess we should probably chuck those up here. Or any of them. Yeah, in the same way that I did my debug stuff there. We'll chuck those in there. We're separating these out. This is using both of them. This is for one, this is for the other. So let's, we can get rid of this. And then we will just do sweep single line shape. Just say single shape. Let's comment that. And then let me borrow this and we'll wrap this in a for loop for this one. Because this is going to be our sweep multi object shape object. This is channel. Let's get these back in. For F hit result. In our shape trace result array, we want to go through and do the same thing. So if we just do hit result in here instead. We use the location there. And we don't do an else in here. We can just do an if f hit result, no, shape trace result array dot is valid index. Am I right, May, with my editor these days? All right, I'm fine with that as an example one now. Although this, we can't do that. We need to borrow that and there. If we pass into the start of it, go. Okie dokie. Let's give this a recompile. What we're hoping now is that, we can't quite do it yet. This stuff would need to go up above it. Oh, this is a proper mess now, if I'm honest with you. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, that should work. What we want to see now is... Ah, did it still just stop at the first one? Ah. Oh, is it because... Hold on. It might only be one of them that is set to do it? I don't know. Yeah, it still goes through. Actually, no, there's the start and the end. I need to have a look at the object types here. Let's F8 out of this a sec. Let's look at collision. What? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. So, is it a type Dan? Yes. That is type Dan too. Ah. Ah. Oh, see, I thought a multi... Oh, hold on. Hold on. No, 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 no. Sweep multi by object channel here. Okay, we might need to recompile. That's my view. Like a proper one. Interesting, interesting. How was food, Brainoid? I made a kind of mashed potato and lentil pie this morning. That was my food. Good to reload. I blame it on the hot reload. Do you want some pie? It wasn't as good as last time. I used red lentils instead of green lentils, and they're really like a lot thinner, and they hold it. They don't have much. They're not quite as good as like a minced meat sort of substitute. I added a bit of brown sauce, and then it was good. I don't really label myself vegan, but I pretty much eat like a vegan would. Just because I'm not completely strict on rules. If someone made me a cake and didn't know, I wouldn't like refuse to have some of it, you know? But when I'm making my own choices, I avoid the stuff. Red is better for mashing. Yeah, so it ended up all being quite mashy. But, okay, how many results are we getting in here? There we go. This is what we expected to see. I will devour the cake. Hum, 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 hum. So it was a hot reload error. Great. Why? Why was it a hot reload error? What did it do to deserve? I don't understand why. There we go, though. Isn't that glorious? But yeah, in terms of why, I guess what you could do is like before spawning something, you might want to do a check. Oh, can I spawn it there? Is there anything around it that'll block it? So if I know that my item is going to be as big as this green thing, I could do a trace where I want to spawn it and then place it in. But other than that, I'm not really sure why we'd be using these. So I think we'll move on to... there was one more example thing I wanted to look at before we just try and have a play around, which is... Okay, we've done this now. So Brainoid recommended doing the forget hit result under cursor for objects. Let's do a little bit of a Google for this first. I think it's our fault that we laugh about it and normalize the situation. We should keep raging at Yui. What the flip is this? Oh, reloading. I mean, I get grumpy enough. You really don't want to encourage me to be more grumpy, do you? Oh, look at Spacey. Those meta errors. Alright, so performs a collision query under the mouse cursor looking for object types. In which direction? I guess from camera to cursor? Probably. Alright, let's give that one a go then. We'll comment this I was going to call it a bad boy, but it really isn't a bad boy. It's a sweet multi-byte object type boy. But she showed her semi-computer science degree. Wow. Yeah, Spacey, by the way, if you don't know, is a wonderful artist, and she knows a bit about developing as well, but she ended up focusing in doing 3D art. But she also is amazing at 2D art. As you can see, I just want to go back to my game on that page. As you can see from Kattenberg, the game that we are currently working on together. Look at these. And look at the wonderful animations Brain has made using the cards and that. Aren't they glorious? Oh, and then yesterday, and this is unrelated completely. Also, Brainoid, I'm pleased that this was also on the featured, and we've got more followers now. So that's a positive thing. That means that our cats were slightly more appealing. Let's open recent this thing. So I was playing around with these yesterday, trying to come up with different layouts for how we could have the game. A lot of them I don't like. This just looks too full, but it might not be too bad. The point of the deck card is we could animate saying, oh, there you go, you're dealing a card out. But more importantly, you can click it and then it shows your deck. And I thought, one, for symmetry, it would be nice. But two, maybe we can let you see what is in the enemy deck. Because unlike other deck building games, they haven't got a hand. They've got these face down and they don't know what they are either. So you're not going to just see what is left in their deck. You just see the entire deck. I think that would be... Any unrevealed cards, including cards in the deck, would be shown. But yeah, I was trying to go through these. Spacey, if you didn't see in the Discord, feel free to give some input as well if you have any. This is our basic layout at the moment. Anyway, that was side note. Ah, awesome. That's nice to hear, Paper Fox. Do you work in game dev? And show some boring graphs. No, the graph was up already. I tried. It was on. That page was on. I'm sorry. Make your own VR game. Did only know Python and Maya's Mel before streams like these. Okay, good. Well, feel free to hang out. Like I work in Unreal, but I don't actually get to do a lot of this kind of hands-on stuff very often. For example, I've been on project in my current game for around 14 months, and this is the first time. I've got a couple of days left before I'm on holiday, but I'm moving on to AI, and it's the first time I'm having to do anything to do with AI. So it's very easy in a massive project like the one I work on at work to like not have to touch certain areas of Unreal, and very rarely am I doing anything in editor. Advertisement and VR. Cool. Cool. Mailscript is a language used for Maya. Okay, cool. Thank you. Translating for simple Dan. Get rid of this. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do one of these traces, these new traces. So let's just do it here, shall we? So we are looking, I think it's on the player controller, isn't it? So we are on a character at the moment. So do we have just player controller available? No, I think. What? A character is possessed by a controller. I know that much. It's not even going to be character. It'd be in pawn. There should be like a get controller sort of class. Controller. Why are you not letting me just call that then, stupid IntelliSense? Maybe I didn't say controller. Did I write player controller? Maybe it was all my fault. And I'm guessing, what is this function a member of? So it's on the player controller, so we'd need to cast it to an A player controller. So A player controller equals get player controller. Is this a templated one? I mean, we do. I think so. We have to pass in the type, right? Would it have been like that? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the next thing we need to do is call that function. So we go player controller dot get hits results under cursor. Ah, look at these. These are nice. Okay, so we're going to look for objects, I guess. I never use the templated version. What does it return by default? Do you just get the normal one and then you try and cast it separately? Or does it just return an A controller by default? We'll see. We'll see if it compiles. I guess that's the best bet. Let's close this down as well. Okay, so parameters we need to give you are a T array of the object type queries, all the object types that we want, whether we want to use complex. Oh, that's pretty nice. We don't actually have too many to do here. So let's go ahead and make a T array of, it's not collision channels though. Oh, give me the parameters. Oh, I flipping hate, like, it's because I've got this up here that it doesn't flipping. Honestly, I really hate developing in C++ and Unreal. It's such a pain in the backside. Half your battle shouldn't be getting the IDE to work. It really shouldn't. It's such a bloody waste of time. You normally do get first player controller. Right, okay. Yeah. And you use the camera location to work out where you're at, is it? This one doesn't seem to need the camera rotation anyway. Right, this one will take a trace type query. This one takes a object type query. This one looks less complicated. Let's just do it by channel for now, shall we? Game trace channel I'm used to. I don't know about the type queries. Okay. Convert to trace type. That's converting a collision channel to a trace channel. After almost 4 years. Thank you. I love how crap the general knowledge here on Unreal is. This sums it up so much. project mouse position to world. Oh gosh, it's all right. I'm going to try and use this example. This one looks nicer to me. So let's just whack that in, and instead of this, we're going to put in our channel to trace, right? And then our result is going to be in our hit result. Have I made it yet? No. Blast. I can share. Yeah, sure. Let me play with this a sec, and then you're welcome to, dude. Hey, Miles, how you doing? Nice to see you. Okay, so we want to use this one this time. And we don't really need to do a debug here. I don't know, maybe we should draw something, but we should probably do an effector. We'll just do a small box. Let's just do that for now, so we can see like where it's hitting, I guess. But that's the difficult thing, is this kind of encompasses the start and end point, so it's hard for you to know where the start and the end. Good, glad to hear, Miles. Good. Get it done. Bruno, did you want me to just take that code and look through it? Or were you looking to explain it? I'm fine either way. I just make sure I understood what you wanted, good sir. Okay, let's first try this. Okay, sweet. I'll copy and paste it in now and have a nose through the code. Thank you, man. Okay, let's press play. So, what we want to see is... Oh, is it because there's no mouse cursor? I wonder, because it's not even saying... Actually, it's not even saying miss at the moment. There's one result in here. Oh, is it hitting myself? It seems to be hitting the first person character. So maybe it does the first... Okay, that it could be just how it responds to the default. Okay, hold on. Let's think why that could be happening. So it could be happening because by default, this first person character is set to collide. No, I do that all the time. I write in the wrong one. I hate how cramped this window is as well. I think I normally I tried setting them up so it's more like an Unity, but yeah, that's how I normally have it. So clustered if you have it in the same one. Anyway, okay, so I was want to find out, does the collision of this what's the actual collision profiles? Is it these? So do they overlap with Dan? I think that's the trace I'm using at the moment, is this channel. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that it can hit, but it doesn't say it's going to block it, which is more confusing. I mean, a very cheap way to fix this would be to take this camera and just okay. Just do that a sec. Okay, so it hasn't hit anything that time. Oh, it has hit the wall, actually. Okay, good. Let's tick this off then. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We can see it. Miss. Unless it's hitting like in the middle of it, it's not perfect though. I don't know where it's gone now. Like why is it no longer hitting stuff? So if I do this, let's go back in and see what's happening, shall we? None. Oh, what? It did hit that time. But different locations every time. What do you... Is it doing it with my mouses in the... Hang on. Oh, hang on. Is it wherever my... Okay, if I move my mouse here. Like here. And then I press F5. No. Oh, yes, it is. See? I think it might be because we don't have the mouse cursor on. So this would be more of a thing as if you have a UI and a cursor. I think we're in this sort of style of project is not properly going to work, but I think we've generally got the idea of it. I think. Let's have a quick look at what Brainoid had. As a separate example. So Brainoid's one does makes that array, which is the other type of one, right? And you ended up doing, you add to that array that, yeah, and then you do the pass in the array. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's the same sort of thing, but when we use the other one, I did by channel, you did by object. Yeah, for objects, so you could pass in multiple channels in. Fun. All right. So, the final task of the day then, for me, is going to be I'd like to make a little Roomba. I mean, there's not that much left in Collision. I mean, of the basics, I think is really when you start using it and come into problems with it is where we're going to come into stuff.